Hey, Shawn Greeves again here. 30 years of real estate tips, number 5. We are rolling along. Now, where does 30 years of real estate tips come from? I've been doing real estate full time for 30 years. And I started even way before that when I was 19 and 20 years old. I did that for 2 years. I bought 20 houses. Then I stopped. And then years later, I got back into it 30 years ago. And I've done over 6,000 deals. I went from broke to a multimillionaire. It's true. I started with zero money. How do you do that with zero money? Well, it's possible. I bought over 300 houses of my own. I've done over 6,000 loans. I had 83 rental houses at one time. Started with nothing, zero. So you have more than what I had when I first started, okay? It's just that I had a white hot burning desire that nothing's going to stop me. I wanted to get rich in real estate. Nothing was going to stop me. Nothing. I worked all night long, slept a little bit, and then did real estate during the day. Nothing was going to stop me. That's the attitude that you have to have if you want to get rich in real estate. Maybe you don't want to get rich, okay? But you got to be persistent. You got to be persistent. See, a lot of times we quit. We're working on something and nothing's happening, and then we quit. But we know what? You could be right on the doorstep of success. But a lot of times success is invisible because we don't see it a lot of times until it arrives. So you have to be persistent. You have an attitude of, I will until. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit. Because you know what? Nobody cares if you're successful, except your mama and maybe your spouse. That's it. Nobody cares. Matter of fact, most people want you to fail because if you're successful, then they got to look at themselves and go, wait a minute, what's wrong with me? He's being successful. And you know what? There's all these dream busters out there too. Les Brown calls them dream busters. I told you, listen to motivational speakers. Les Brown's a great one. I'll tell you another great motivational speaker is Shawn Greeves. I do motivational speaking. I'm a motivational hypnotist. So when I get into a crowd, I'm going to hypnotize everybody and plant positive suggestions into people's subconscious mind. But you got to listen to motivational material. Les Brown talks about dream busters. Those are the people closest to you. They're going to try and bust your dreams. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. Oh, you're going to do real estate. Oh, Uncle Bill did real estate 30 years ago and he went broke. Well, you know what? Uncle Bill was an idiot. What's that got to do with me? Don't listen to the dream busters. You got to get out there and do your own thing. So how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Okay. And along the way, I was picking up I found out I was using a formula. Why was I so successful when most people fail? Why was that? I found out I was using a formula. I wrote it in a book. I teach people. It's called the Success Formula for Humans. You can get that on Amazon. But today, we're going to talk about doing houses, obviously. A lot of people do too big of projects. They're too big. They take them a year. Let's say it takes 9 or 10 months, and you make $40,000. Well, if you go do the same deal again, that means you're only going to do one house a year. Okay. And by the time you get that $40,000, you got to pay off your credit cards that you've been living on. So by the time that's over, you might have $20,000 in the bank. So quit doing those huge deals. You're not HDTV, a couple of commercials, and there's $1 million. No, it doesn't work like that. Do smaller deals so you can turn them quicker and you make it up in volume. Let me ask you a question. If you know the game of football, what position on the field by the end of the year scores the most points? What position? A lot of people go, well, the quarterback. Well, the quarterback doesn't score that many touchdowns. Well, the wide receiver. Okay, they score a couple of touchdowns here. The tight end, a couple of touchdowns. Oh, the running back, a couple of touchdowns. What position scores the most points by the end of the year? It's not any of those positions. You want to know what it is? It's the kicker. What? The kicker? He only gets 1 point when somebody scores a touchdown, or he gets 3 points if they don't score a touchdown and they get close enough to be in field goal range. Well, what happens is that kicker gets action off of everybody, and he makes his money up in volume. So the name of the game is do smaller deals so you can get in and out. Do a deal that takes you 30 days to get it rehabbed, and then sell it over the next 30 or 45 days. And then start doing 2 at a time or 3 at a time. That's how you're going to get rich in real estate. I know you love fixing up houses. Love it. So do I. But I'm in it to make money. You need to be in this to make money. You want to quit your job. If you're doing these big rehabs, well, I'm in St. Louis. You go down to South City. Oh, you're going to rip out all the plaster and lath and get it down to the studs and put in new plumbing and electrical, roof, and all that stuff. You're looking at a year a lot of times. You're not going to make any money doing real estate. That's a hobby. So if you want to do real estate as a hobby, hey, more power to you. If you want to make money, you want to replace your job, you got to do volume. That means do smaller deals, smaller deals. I live North St. Louis County. You can be in and out of a house in a couple of weeks, right? That's wood and drywall. You go down to South City, that's a lot more than wood and drywall. You know, you're going to do smaller deals. That's the bottom line. Do smaller deals. So what if you don't make $50,000 or $80,000 or $100,000? What if you made $30,000? But you're in and out of it in 60 days. Then you're going to start doing 2 and 3 at a time. Then you're making $30,000 times 3, $90,000. You have 3 or 4 crews going. You're going to get rich. So do volume. So that's all I have for you today. I'm Shawn Greeves. Talk to you next time.